In 2014, Peter Quill, Gamera, Drax, Rocket, and Baby Groot are renowned as the Guardians of the Galaxy. Aisha, leader of the Sovereign race, has the Guardians protect valuable batteries from an interdimensional monster in exchange for Gamera's estranged sister Nebula, who was caught attempting to steal the batteries. After Rocket steals the batteries for himself, the Sovereign attacks the Guardians' ship with a fleet of drones. The drones are destroyed by a mysterious figure, and the Guardians crash land on a nearby planet. There, this figure reveals himself as Quill's father, Ego, and invites Quill, Gamera, and Drax to his home planet. Rocket and Groot remain behind to repair the ship and guard Nebula. Meanwhile, Aisha hires Yondu Udonta and his crew, who have been exiled from the greater Ravager community for child trafficking, to recapture the Guardians. They capture Rocket, but when Yondu hesitates to turn over Quill, whom he raised, his assistant Kraglin Obfantari questions his objectivity, and his lieutenant Taserface leads a mutiny with help from Nebula. Taserface imprisons Rocket and Yondu aboard the latter's ship, and executes his loyalists by releasing them into space. Nebula leaves to find and kill Gamera, whom she blames for the torture inflicted on her by their father, Thanos. While imprisoned, Rocket and Yondu bond. Groot and Kraglin, the latter having never intended to start the mutiny, free Rocket and Yondu, and they destroy the ship and its crew as they escape, but Taserface warns the Sovereign before dying. Ego, a godlike celestial that manipulated the matter around its consciousness to form this home planet, explains that he projected a humanoid guise to travel the universe and discover a purpose, eventually falling in love with Quill's mother Meredith. Ego hired Yondu to collect the young Quill after Meredith's death, but the boy was never delivered, and Ego has been searching for him ever since. He teaches Quill to manipulate the celestial power. Nebula arrives at Ego's planet and tries to kill Gamera, but the pair reach an uneasy alliance when they discover a cavern filled with skeletal remains. Ego reveals to Quill that in his travels, he planted seedlings on thousands of worlds that can terraform into new extensions of himself, but they can only be activated by the power of two celestials. To that end, he impregnated countless women and hired Yondu to collect the children, but killed them all when they failed to access the celestial power. Under Ego's influence, Quill helps him activate the seedlings, which begin to consume every world, but Quill fights back when Ego reveals that he gave Meredith the tumor that killed her due to the distraction she posed. Mantis, Ego's naive empathy servant, grows close to Drax and warns him of Ego's plan. Gamera and Nebula also learn of the plan as Rocket, Yondu, Groot, and Kraglin arrive. The reunited Guardians find Ego's brain at the planet's core, as they come under attack from the Sovereign's drones. Rocket makes a bomb using the stolen batteries, which Groot plants on the brain. Quill fights Ego with his newfound celestial powers to distract him long enough for the other Guardians and Mantis to escape. The bomb explodes, killing Ego and disintegrating the planet. Quill loses his celestial powers soon after Ego's death. Yondu sacrifices himself to save Quill and dies in the vacuum of space. Meanwhile, Quill realizes that the reason Yondu kept him was to spare him from the fate of Ego's other progeny. Having reconciled with Gamera, Nebula still chooses to leave and resume her quest to kill Thanos by herself. The Guardians hold a funeral for Yondu, which is attended by Kraglin and dozens of Ravager ships, acknowledging Yondu's sacrifice and accepting him as a Ravager again. In a series of mid- and post-credit scenes, Kraglin takes up Yondu's telekinetic arrow and control fin. Ravager leader Staker Augard reunites with his ex-teammates. Groot has grown into a teenager. Aisha creates a new artificial being with whom she plans to destroy the Guardians, naming him Adam, and a group of uninterested watchers abandon their informant, who is discussing his experiences on Earth.